This is only the second week we've been back. So hopefully we'll get better.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the January 12th work session for the Town of Colonial Beach Town Council. And as you can see, we have some new faces up here. The meeting's called to order, and the only person missing today is Mr. Serby. He will not be here today. He's going to come down with a bug or something. There's no agenda to approve, so we'll start immediately with presentations. If we could, Flag Shack, Susan French, please, and your partner there, come up.
Go up here? Here.
Let's see. What do you have? Do you have any video?
She has the.
What's easier for you to see?
Probably here is fine.
Okay.
First of all, hello and welcome.
I'm sorry, folks. Before we go any further, is there a motion to approve this agenda?
Mr. Mayor, so moved.
Okay. Thank you.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. Thank you. I'm sorry, I was thinking of something else. My bad. Yeah. I started off new. See, this is what we're doing. We have a change. This is how the policies work. Okay, back to presentations. Thank you. I'm glad this is a work session, by the way. Okay.
Good morning, and hello to the new council members. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Susan Janace. This is my partner, Doug Patton.
Yep.
We wanted to just briefly come in and talk to you a little bit about some of the things that we've been working on and what we're hoping to be working on over the next months in this shoulder season leading up into the summer season. So for the new council members, you can for the new council members, in case you're not familiar,
Susan, can you talk into the mic? I'm
oh,
sorry. People
sorry.
can't hear.
For the new council members who weren't here when we started this whole project, we just wanted to quickly go over what some of our goals and objectives were. We wanted to increase destination tourism. Colonial Beach, I told this story when I first came in here, is that I moved to DC and I was looking for a beach place, and I had never heard of Colonial Beach, and I literally scrolled down Google Maps and I looked at every place that had beach in its name and ended up coming to visit here, fell in love with it, and came back. We wanted to enhance the visibility of Colonial Beach as a clean and safe tourist destination. We came up with a short, intermediate, and long-term tourism plan, which coincided with your down season, your shoulder season, and your high season. We looked at expanding at least 3 tourism projects, identifying tourism structures and infrastructure that needed development, and measures so we could analyze our success.
Right.
Okay.
So this is a list of some of the higher level things that we completed. We did the Colonial Beach tourism logo, which you see on the right. We
Did the new website.
visit cbva.com, and we also helped the town with their website, their municipal website. We developed social media accounts for the travel and tourism: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and grants. We developed again. Well, we'll go through that in a minute. Digital marketing and SEO. We did achieve page 1 of Google search after I think it was 7 months.
Yeah, a little over 6.5 months it took to
Yeah.
get to the first page of Google, which was not necessarily easy considering what we're up against. So we were very happy with that.
We did a little bit of Google Ads just to again generate some awareness, and on Yelp we established the town visitor site and also did a little bit of advertising there as well, because Yelp is really huge in Washington, D.C. So these are just a few of the media hits. We averaged about one a month. So we were in Alexandria Living Magazine, Virginia Living Magazine, Richmond Magazine. The most recent one is McCool Travel. McCool Travel is, he's a very, very well-known social media influencer. So he's like the #1 travel blogger on Twitter. And we started off by building a relationship with him, building a relationship with the photo editor at Alexandria Living, and between the two of us, we ended up getting into his article of absolutely inspiring places to visit in 2019, which was hugely exciting. We were part of Wine Enthusiast and Prop Talk, and just a whole bunch of different publications that we were in, where Colonial Beach was mentioned in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Did you have something else?
No.
Okay. The social media. So the social media has grown exponentially since we first started it, and those are just some of the bigger media that has either shared our information, liked, commented, whatever. And so, obviously, what when that happens is we're not just talking to our audience, then they're talking to their audience, and those people share with somebody else, and it just goes viral, and we get to reach more and more people.
It's an exponential project when that happens. So I share something, and then Kathy shares it, and then all my friends now see it, and now all Kathy's friends sees it, and it just goes on and on and on like that. So the larger the individual is, or the group, or the organization is that picks up on some of these posts that we put out there, the more it benefits us, because the more eyeballs fall on Colonial Beach.
So in other words, like these, for instance, that are up here, these are ones that possibly we shared first, and maybe they reshared, like the one for Visit Virginia. That's a photo that we had put up, and then they shared it. So not only did we hit our 1,000+ followers, but then, as you can see, over almost 2,700 of their followers at least liked it, and more of that even saw it and didn't even like it. Or didn't click the like button, I should say, not didn't like it.
Yeah, phrase that one.
Some partnerships. So that top left is, we had gone to Bay Transit. I love the fact that there's a trolley in town. I just think that's the cutest thing. So I wanted to promote that a little bit, but before I did, I went to the Bay Transit site to see what that looked like. It was terrible. It was wrong. There were stops on there for places that didn't even exist anymore. So I contacted Bay Transit, and they allowed me to basically redo their page. So I put our information up there, our logo up there, and redid all of the business listings and put links in. The next one over to the right is that was from the state of Virginia. So they have that interactive map, and the photos that they had up there and the information they had up there was really just not very complimentary to us. So I took some really nice photos that represented different aspects of the town and put that little collage together, and then wrote up new summaries. The bottom left is for Virginia tourism. We created a couple of new pages for that. And then on the right, we worked with the chamber to expand where the visitor guides were put in different welcome centers.
Yeah.
So I think we went from 2 to 10. We went from 2 to 10. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. So we worked closely with the chamber to do that, and went from 2 welcome centers to now in all 10. Go ahead. I need a break.
So in terms of the Visit CBVA website, we've had to date a little over 40,000 unique visitors. So that's 40,000 people who have come and hit our site and seen what we have on there. The top 3 referrers have been social media, search engines, and then the Town of Colonial Beach website itself, the government site, not the tourism site. What was very interesting is out of the different ones that were coming through here, we had a very large referral network that was actually sending to us. So that's stuff that people have seen that's stuff that people have seen from elsewhere and have clicked through to actually come to us. So it's a big part of that is some of the social media stuff that Susan's done that has been exposed to a wide range of other accounts that share this kind of information with their followers. So that's a big part there. So direct are the people that have actually entered in Visit CBVA. So they've actually come directly to our website. And so they entered that because they heard about us or someone prompted them to come to us. And so that was a large one there. But that one was relatively expected because we had a lot of outreach with that. But we knew that was going to get there. But it was some of these others that were really much larger. Social is directly from our social media posts. So things that we put out on our Facebook, on our Twitter, on our Instagram, and so forth, those went from there and they clicked through to the website. Organic is literally, it's a focus of our SEO, our search engine optimization. It's how we go through each of the pages, we optimize the text that's there so that the search engines actually pick up on that. It used to be back in the day, we could load it up with keywords and then the search engines would be like, oh, these keywords matter, and they would send people our way. Those days are so far gone, it's scary. Nowadays, it has directly to do with what the content on the page says. So we have to be careful about, what kind of keywords we do use and how much we put in there and a number of other things that the search engines look for. So the SEO that we did was we went through each one of the pages and we figured out what was going to be the most optimal mix of keywords, the density of keywords, putting them in there, and all this other technical stuff that really, even for me, is a pain in the neck. True. But it really does pay off because over time, as we said, it took a little over 6.5 months after we put in the analytics code that we finally made it to the #1 or the first page of Google. And as I said before, that's not necessarily easy because one of the determining factors is the length of the age of the site. So in this case, this was a brand new site, brand new URL, brand new site. We put it out there. We were going up against some others that have been around for 10, 15, 20 plus years. And so we had a large step to get over to try to get up to that area. And so fortunately we finally did. Finally.
At the mayor's prompting, I will add.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, are we on the first page yet? Are we on the first page yet? Are we on the first page yet?
So yes, we finally are. And then of course paid search. So paid search is literally just that. If you've ever done any kind of Google search whatsoever, you'll know that the first usually 3 to 5 entries are paid searches. They're paid ads, they're paid responses. Those perform, but they don't perform nearly as well as organic searches, and that's what we really strive to do. And that's where the SEO came in, that's where all this other research and work on the site came in. So as you can see up there, the biggest refer was direct, and then after that it was social, then referral, then organic. Paid is there, it helps, it definitely gives us a boost, but we want to be a little bit more strategic with how we work with paid moving forward. Kathy? So, having said all that, we also look at what the path of the visitors are, because we want to know what pages are performing, what pages are not performing, and so forth. So, the top green block is the home page. So people plopped into the home page there, and then from there, where'd they go? They went to a number of different other pages, and we can map that out, so we know what's working and what's not working. Then we also see where other things are going in, and most notably on here is that bottom block. And that bottom block is basically, those are individual website posts. And so if something has been shared on social and that has gone, for lack of a better word, gone viral, it's gone elsewhere, it's gone out of our control, other people are sharing it. Then as people click through those posts and find that information, what they'll do is they actually click through and they go to whatever was linked there. And so that's what that particular block really represents. It represents the other links to other pages, to other blog posts, to other individual things that are sitting on the site somewhere that someone has clicked through to go to. So it's a pretty fascinating one to look at in context with the rest of this, because it means that Susan's social, as well as some of her other activities, are really working. Yeah, the blog posts
are very popular.
Right, exactly. So anyway, that was the different direction of where they are. Kathy? I'll let you dive in on that one.
You know what, I apologize. I plugged in the social media accounts on the right, and I forgot to update them. So those are wrong. For instance, like the Facebook number of followers is like 1,600, not 14. So anyway, I apologize. I can get you those updated numbers. Oh, well, you could go back one second. So just, well, it doesn't matter. It's fine. Okay. So that's just to show the social media measurement. Well, you can talk about this too. You know what this is.
All right. Well, I was going to let you talk about that, but that's fine.
All
right. So
if I can tell you briefly, the Facebook followers is more like 1,600 now. Twitter is almost 1,000, if not 1,000. Instagram is, I want to say that one's close to 1,000. Pinterest, I have no idea what that one's at right now.
And the other information that's over on the side, those are the referrers that come through to the website. And this is interesting because we knew that Facebook was going to be the #1. That's kind of a no-brainer. But for me, what was very, very telling afterwards was that Yelp was the #2 referrer. Yelp is, a review place. So if you are a business here in town and you want to start helping generate interest in the town, then ask people to get reviews, definitely, because these are working in a big way. So these are the some of the metrics that we look for when we're doing this sort of thing, because we want to find out, what's referring and what's not referring, what's working and what's not working. And Yelp, for me, on my end, I've only used it, I use it infrequently when I'm out and about, but apparently around here, people really like it, so.
It's actually, and the focus on Yelp, again, if you're familiar, I'm just trying to explain to people who aren't familiar. You go to a Yelp site and you click on a business and you can read what people have written about it. It's kind of like a TripAdvisor, but it's more localized.
Yeah.
Yelp is huge in DC. And so since DC was one of our targets, that's the reason I kind of focus on Yelp a little bit. People just will write these long reviews, again, just like TripAdvisor, but since we were trying to pull people down there, when we did some ads for them, we focused on that DC area and the fact that we're only an hour and a half away from it. So I think that's part of why Yelp came up #2, because of the geographical focus that we were striving for. This was just, we had put this in the last time we were here, and I just left this in again because these are just comments that we get, all the time, whether it's on social media or whether people send it through email. It's just really interesting to see that we're actually generating awareness about the town and people are actually reading our content. Like this one here on the bottom left is my favorite, where somebody wrote to us and said that they read about us, or they read an article about us, and they came to the beach shop, and she asked the clerk, it says on there, the clerk asked how she found Colonial Beach, told her I found it on Instagram and an article in Alexandria Living, and the clerk at the beach shop said, you're not the first to tell me that you're here because of that article. So I just want to stress the importance of, like, when we do PR and we get versus an ad, when you read an article in a magazine or a newspaper, it's much more objective, it seems, to somebody reading it than an ad. So it's working, and we're just very excited about it. And that one